All right, welcome to Open Line. Thanks for watching here on News Channel 5 Plus. We're talking about affordable housing. Obviously, a conversation and a topic that just, there's so many layers to it. Like you said, complex. It's not as easy as people may like to describe it. I want to go now to line one with Karen. Karen, what is your question?
Yes, hi, good evening to everyone. I have a question. I live in an apartment complex, and I've been here for about 2 years. And I guess because of all the development going around and all the new condominiums and everything going up, they're just raising the rent arbitrarily without upgrading or remodeling the apartment. And I've actually had to move twice in the last 4 years because I've been outpriced. They continually raise the rent. And I wanted to know if there's anything that your program can do to intervene in that.
I feel like that's what you guys have been doing.
There are ways to intervene in those situations. By the time the owner who buys that apartment house has in their minds that they want to raise rents, that's the purpose of their buying it, it's probably too late already. And so when you find an affordable place to live, one of the things that can be done from an intervention standpoint, and MDHA is reaching out all the time looking for landlords who are interested in Section 8 rental assistance programs. So the government will actually help pay the difference between that market rate of $1,400 or $1,600 or $1,800 a month and what the home resident can afford. And so the first thing I would suggest to the caller is to contact MDHA about the availability of Section 8 housing. People have this impression that Section 8 housing is for folks who are not working or might have issues that prevent them from working. It's for everybody. Section 8 housing, if you're working in a job downtown in a hotel, if you're a domestic worker in a hotel, you qualify to live in Section 8 housing. And so the first thing I would say to you is have your landlord reach out or call MDHA and ask them, where are the landlords that have Section 8 housing available? Because I'd like to find one. That won't, the contract with Section 8 with the federal government doesn't allow the rents to be raised like that.
I was in a similar boat as what the caller was. Again, my rent after 1 year just hiked up too much, in my opinion, to where I felt like I could find a different complex to where it's cheaper and probably closer to the downtown area, closer to work. Is there a regulation at all as far as what they can hike up the price?
No.
No, and you know, under Tennessee state law, there are certain laws that landlords are bound to abide by. So if there's something that concerns this caller that may or may not be lawful or right, she can call our office. We can connect her with the right person at the Tennessee Fair Housing Commission that can investigate just to determine if there's a problem. But also, that being said, there are 7,000 vouchers available, according to our colleague at MDHA, Section 8 housing vouchers that can be used in any part of Davidson County. But the challenge is that there's a backlog or there's a waiting list of 15,000. And in the meantime, property owners have dropped off the list and are not participating. So you never know, you know, our organization has units to rent, and we accept Section 8 vouchers. We work with MDHA, and we're one of the many nonprofits that does that around the city willingly.
Yeah. All right, let's
Matthew,
go to...
what that caller did is identify one of the core issues of this entire conversation. She's not alone. There are people both within the city center and outside the city that are getting rent raised out of where they live. And it's even more important for our city to step up, create a housing plan that will incentivize the building of affordable units so that people like her will not be pushed around as rents get raised out of her reach. And that's why we're calling on the city to come up with an aggressive plan that will address issues like this. That was part of our platform.
And some of this, Matthew, is a matter of timing. Right now, apartment construction in Nashville has reached record levels. And when the market reaches a saturation point and there are more units available than there are people to rent them, prices will fall. But in the meantime, until all that supply is delivered, and market forces are allowing landlords who are not, it's a free country and they own property and they have a right to do what they want with their property. They're going to achieve the highest economic gain that they can. That's what they want to do. But not every landlord's like that. And I, again, encourage people who own property for rent, who want to get involved, to call MDHA and sign up for the Section 8 program. You can have 100 units of apartments and only 10 of them would be Section 8 rentals. You can certainly do that. You can charge whatever you want in the other 90 units if that's what you want to do as an apartment owner. So there are all kinds of ways you can build it and dedicate it permanently to be either affordable or for workforce, or you can convert market rate housing to affordable or workforce qualified housing.
All right, I want to get to the phones right now. Reverend Fuzz, what is your question?
Okay, hey, listen, I have a question. The number one request I get every week is for housing, somebody needing housing. Just disappointing today, a family of 4 can't go anywhere. I had another member last year, his rent went from $600 to $1,200 because they wanted to, it's on the Charlotte area, so it's, you know, they can get that amount of money for them. So my question is, as we talk about builders putting affordable housing in these buildings, why not put another, I'd hate to call it tax or fee, on the builders for their building permits that can raise money so the city can have the funds to generate affordable housing. And I heard the mayor's State of the Metro address where she allocated $10 million for housing and $60 million for sidewalks. That caught my attention. And the sidewalks over housing. What did you think about that also? That was my question.
So priorities are important, Reverend Fuzz, and it's an issue that we wrote about in this Sunday's Tennessean. Avi and myself and the Reverend Bill Barnes wrote an article about this very issue. And as a community, it's up to all of us to raise our voice and communicate to Mayor Berry that we appreciate everything that she has done to date, and we would like her to do more, a lot more. We last year legislated in the state legislature the ability of Davidson County to sell general obligation bonds and use the proceeds to build permanently affordable housing. But the city now legislatively has to decide in the next budget that it wants to take advantage of that. And it wants to raise $100 or $200 million to build housing that's either affordable or workforce or a mix, along with market rate mixed income housing, so that people have an opportunity to live side by side together of all incomes.
Is that incentive with the grant to offset the costs for developers? Do you think that is enough of a draw?
Well, the grant was initially $2 million. Again, as we were discussing earlier, if the need is 40,000 units and you've created a pool of money that will open up 400 units, it's a step.
It's a step.
Not the step that we had been advocating for and that we will continue to advocate for. On the simplest level, Matthew, what you need to do housing that's affordable to those with the least among us or those up to the middle class. If you want to build housing, you need a place to build it and the funds to build it with. And we've been trying to legislate on those two simple points, and it has been very tough, slow going, with plenty of opposition from market forces.
All right, let's go now to Donna, line 1. Donna, what is your question?
Yeah, I have a couple that we've been trying to help that's living in a hotel, paying $300 a week and working on temporary service. And we've been looking for some affordable housing where they would be on a bus line where they could get to work. He was riding a bike and it was getting too hot for him to ride. And we've been just trying to help them. They can't get food stamps because they can't get to the place to get food stamps. She's working on trying to get her Social Security, but they have no transportation.
Can I address
Yes,
that?
definitely.
If this is a family, if it's a family with children, under Metro Homeless Commission's initiative, House Nashville is what it's called. Families with children raised to the top of the list, so to speak, and can get, there are special programs that can help them get housing a little faster. And so if this caller would like to call our office, 615-627-0347, and ask for Kay, I'll have a conversation with you and we'll problem solve around that and see what we can, who we can connect you and this family to see if we can make a difference.
And we'll make sure to say that number once again by the end of the show. We'll go to break. We do have another caller. Plus, when we come back, there is a difference. I think people are also misconstruing between affordable versus the workforce. And so we're going to talk more about that, delve into this issue again, affordable housing. If you have questions, make sure to call the number on your screen, 615-737. Plus, we'll have more after the break.